Okay, this is my midterm project, and my topic is trans care through dance. So who is Devin Emery? Devin Emery is a dance choreographer and artist, a dual licensed body worker, ritual guide, and a registered nurse. He's practicing in the fields of acute and critical care, COVID, hospice, and currently gender-affirming surgery in New York City. They are a mixed Blackfoot settler ancestry, and they are also a trans-masculine performer and artist whose work is centered around limited bodies. So how does their work connect to trans healthcare? So Emery is an RN in gender-affirming surgery. Their Sage Massage specializes specifically in post-operative scar tissue release for those who have gotten gender-affirming surgery. Choreography based on medicine and care. So Emery has a performance company called Beast Productions, and it is intertwined with dance and medicine. They have a big ongoing project that is a 10-year performance trilogy that uses medical mannequins to explore healthcare and transition. Parts of the #MyMannequin trilogy. So we have Dead Bird and Can Somebody Help Me Hold This Body, Grandmother Cindy and Cindy Sessions, Love Lost Land, and Boiling Rain. The parts. So Dead Bird reflects the time he worked as a COVID-19 nurse, combining dance and ritual movement with a medical mannequin and public grief space where the audiences are able to mourn and accept their loved ones lost to COVID. Grandmother Cindy is live performances and films that use an elderly mannequin to represent stories from patients and elders about illnesses and deaths from COVID. Boiling Rain is a performance that honors workers in healthcare and the bodies that they are caring for. So what do these works mean? Across all of his works, he shows how the medical systems we live with treat bodies, including those who have transgender bodies. Overall, they're asking the audience to really take a step back and think about who gets this specific kind of care, how they feel about the care they are given, and puts a focus on the deaths and struggles that are sometimes ignored within the transgender community. It's a big connection to transgender healthcare access and equality. So here's the first video, Grandmother Cindy.
Devin Emery is a New York-based choreographer, dancer, healthcare worker, nurse, body practitioner, whose work with the body in many different forms informs the artistic work that they do.
Dance is at the center of all of my work. It's only been in the last 8 years since I began nursing school that I began bringing in some of the medical work and the healing work. Dance has always been the focus. A lot of my work focuses on bringing people into their bodies or back to their bodies and returning home to their bodies. As a trans person, that makes sense all the time. As an indigenous mixed person, that makes sense all the time.
Devin came to see in their medical training how patient simulating mannequins stand in for people and actually play this very important role in training. And so their choreographic work moved actually to working with these mannequins and thinking about many forms of bridging different dimensions. One important one is the one between life and death.
It was a huge culture shock for me to go from being a healer and working in Eastern medicine to come to Western medicine, as we call it.
And then I'll kind of skip forward to more of the actual performance, which is right here.
Grandmother Cindy is part 2 of a trilogy called My Mannequin Friends, surrounding and centering medical mannequins. So Grandmother Cindy is a multimedia performance with projection, sound, performance. So Grandmother Cindy invites multiple practices in how to take care of a body at the end of a life.
I think in Devin's work, and they would be able to say this much better, but
okay, so I'll go to the next slide. This is video 2. So a kind of description of this is this early stage of research currently in movement form seeds from expanding my proximity to the dying body as I become a nurse, stemming from spiritual practices of death rituals, where my bloodline, while looking at contemporary practices in hospital setting, bringing these bodies together this evening. That was my movement research.
Devin.
different movement. So I'll kind of skip to the next slide here. So how is dance used to promote the awareness about healthcare within the transgender community? So the first thing is storytelling. So Emery is able to choreograph movement that comes right from their experience as a nurse. This includes their interactions with patients, operating rooms, medical mannequins, which as we see are used in his work, and hospice care. Number 2 is trans bodies and liminal bodies. So their work is based on their slippery transgender body and the experience that they have had as a nurse holding space for these bodies. By performing and dancing with medical mannequins, they are able to challenge ideas about whose bodies are worth of medical care and attention. So in conclusion, the work that Devin Emery has created shows how dance can be a very strong and powerful tool towards activism, specifically for issues like healthcare access for the transgender community. As both a nurse and a choreographer, he uses medical imagery, movement, and real storytelling to show what transgender bodies and people experience inside of our healthcare systems. His performances and bodywork practices create a safe space for healing and education for the community. Through mixing art and medicine, he doesn't just raise awareness towards the issue, but they also support safer and more empathetic care for those who are transgender. Overall, that work that they have done proves that dance can start a real conversation. And these are my sources, so